Triple Lot here, come with stories of life, hope, and destiny. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also in the days afterwards. That's what Scripture says. And Genesis 6, forget the actual verse, but that's all we have in Scripture. And according to our time frame with angels and such, the first giants are between 400 and 600, and then it goes on up to the flood, which is 1600. So close to 1,000 years of man having to coexist with giants. It was rough, and the stories are coming in of how, like through the angels, of how it was, how their lives were. So we're going to be unloading those. We are in the process of getting the overarching view, just what all was going on. Like I said, we're pressing into this. This is what we're going to be delving into in depth over the next 4 or 5 years. It's just going to be book after book, after story, but right now we're getting the story of where fallen Lucifer was trying to get permission to do it, and that whole storyline, and the kind of the what's going on behind the scenes that begins the operations, begins how to create, how to manipulate DNA to create giants with, obviously with fallen whatever they have in connection with our DNA. So it's wild. I don't even try to pretend to understand. I don't. But that's okay. God is awesome. We're doing things nowadays with AI and genetics that we're just catching up to what was going on back then. So, but that's us. That's now. That was then. What we're trying to unlock is a story of back then, saying and seeing that God was still in charge, even though he's allowing evil to reign. He's allowing them to do this. It was with man's permission. He had to get, fallen had to get permission from men in order to move forward. And so he has to twist the hearts of men, deceive them, get them into union with him, and then he can produce evil. And that's why I just want to kind of, awaken us, is that many times I want to do, I don't want to, but I am tempted into agreeing with fallen angels around me or in the community or whatever, in my mind, in my heart, in with other things, whatever. I start to make agreements. I get angry in the car line, or I get angry at this, or I do that or do this, and then I'm making agreements that I don't like somebody, I don't want to do something. So that's why I just want to bring it back to home for us, is that watch what you agree with. The enemy, the fallen angels, spirits, all those things around us can only move in our lives if they have our agreement. So watch out what you agree with. Don't agree with lies. Don't agree with anger. Don't agree with being upset and all these things and try to push it on to other people. Back it up, forgive, walk away from the agreements of evil, and remember the agreements of God, that he has a destiny for you, that he's called you, that he desires you, he loves you, he wants good for you. And so I want to leave that there right now, is that God has good for you, his desire is good for you, and we'll talk more about that as we go on. So God bless you.